Hello and welcome to this review of 2012 on BearingNet. In this review we will look back at the past 12 months on BearingNet. We will remind you of some of the new features that have been added, and then we will have a look at what is to come. But first, a review of the last 12 months. There have been 160 new companies that have joined BearingNet in the past year, including 20 from the USA, 18 from Poland, 14 from Germany, 10 from Italy and 9 from Russia. Inventory levels have continued to climb, on average by 10%. Pulleys and belts have grown by significant amounts, in part due to some members being able to categorize their items better. Proportionally, bearings is the biggest category, as you would expect, although non-bearing items do appear in the bearing category. As you can see, seals is the second largest inventory on the site, making up 5% of the total. Let's look at searches. This chart covers the period since January 2010, and as you can see, the months of December are clearly noticeable. The search trend is continuing upward at a steady pace. The number of searches continues to grow. We are finding that more advanced searches with search criteria are being performed, which means that people are getting the results they want more directly. Now, a system update. No, not that kind. We won't be rebooting. We have replaced the main servers that operate BearingNet. For a web-based company, we are a little unusual in that we operate the hosting of the service in-house. This gives us more control of the system and more options if something goes wrong. In practice, it has also left us less exposed to problems that have affected companies hosted by external service providers. It also gives us more control over security of the site, as we control who has access to the physical data, and security from the aspect of controlling who and what can access our equipment. Finally, an unplanned result of this is that we also have more reliability, in that our availability is higher than some of the most expensive hosting services, which we would suggest is a result of any problem with our equipment being a number one priority for us, rather than having to wait for a support team to investigate, who won't give it the same urgent attention as we can give our own hardware. The new server is more powerful than the previous one, doubling its raw processing power, but also doubling its memory workspace area, which has the effect of speeding up requests through the use of caching as far as possible. Our policy is to replace our servers before any defects related to age can pose a threat to our desire to provide a reliable service. This new server runs the latest operating system and database, which also brings us performance benefits and significant improvements in memory management. It also gives us the ability to improve the efficiency and function of our core code with time. We know how important access to BearingNet is for members, so we specifically decided to implement these changes over the Christmas period in order to avoid disruption to members. We now have a more responsive service that can handle the increased load placed on it by more user activity. Additionally, we have been separating out parts of our site. So we are breaking down the site into individual pieces based on what it does, as represented here by different colours. This already provides a degree of increased performance and a degree of protection, so if one portion of BearingNet goes wrong for any reason, it doesn't affect another section. It also helps us in the event of a disaster, as it makes it easier to swap to a scaled down version of BearingNet. In the coming year, this will also allow us to implement a system that will speed up performance for people outside of Europe. Talking of disaster recovery, we now have a mini BearingNet hosted completely off-site. In the event of a catastrophic disaster, it should be possible to get an alternative BearingNet up and running in a matter of hours. Now, usually in these presentations we have a look at our downtime figure, so here it is. In the last 12 months, unplanned downtime totaled 62 minutes. Now that we have our site partitioned, this figure can be a little bit misleading, as for some of those 62 minutes the site was still running and servicing users that were already logged in. In total, this translates to an uptime of 99.988%. A typical cloud service generally achieves 99.1%, and the premium Amazon Web Service has achieved 99.95%, both less than our figure. Now a look at some of the new features introduced in BearingNet since the last European meeting, and then a look forward to the future. We have developed a system that will allow you to link your sales order system to our system to retrieve inquiries. This is a development that will be of interest to people who find responding to inquiries is a significant cost to their company. To do this, we can send to your system a small file in a format called XML, which contains all the details of the inquiry. This will save you having to enter details into your sales order processing computer. Now imagine that your sales computer has been pre-programmed and is able to calculate the cost of the item. Maybe not for all items or all customers. But imagine you could get your system capable of automatically pricing 70% of your inquiries. You could then email your customer direct with your quotation. So if you can get your system to be able to price it automatically, you will be the first company to respond back with a quote, which might win you the sale. Furthermore, it means your system can respond 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to the majority of inquiries, leaving you more time to deal with the non-standard requests. There are two methods you can use to obtain this information. You could either receive an email, just like the quote email we currently send, but with an attachment containing the XML data formatted for your computer to read. This could be read by a smart application on your sales computer to import it into your sales order system. Alternatively, you could receive this XML file via FTP, where our server will directly FTP the file to your server. If you are interested in receiving this service, or for more information, do get in touch with us. And now, inventory. Or rather, effective inventory. We have improved the screens that allow you to manage your inventory, but before we go over that, let's have a little background. Whenever we meet customers at events like the Hanover Fair or user meetings, they often say, "You should delete all inventory over 6 months old." Now let's explore this idea for the moment. This chart shows that only 15% of the bearing inventory listed on BearingNet is dated over 6 months. So if we delete it, this section of inventory will be lost, and some of these lines will be very rare slow-moving items that don't need to be updated regularly. However, when you are searching for bearings, you can already exclude these items by changing the age category on the search results page. Soon you will be able to set your default settings on this page so that by default you won't see this older stock if that's what you want. You will still have the option to see older inventory for a more difficult search by changing the date setting. Now that's fine for buyers, but what about sellers? If you are listing items on BearingNet, try and work out where your company fits into this chart, green or blue. Blue is the number of companies listing bearing stock on BearingNet, where all the items are dated less than 6 months. The green bar shows the number of companies who have at least one line of inventory which has not been updated for 6 months or longer. As you can see, it's almost a 50-50 split. Remember which colour you are as we go to the next chart to see the effect. Remember, green has some but not necessarily all stock dated over 6 months. Blue has all inventory updated within the last 6 months. The chart is now showing total hits for those companies. The previous chart was nearly a 50-50 split, but this chart is not. The number of hits is the number of times that lines of inventory have been displayed for a company on the search results page. And this is not just on the lines of inventory dated over 6 months. We can't measure that. This is for the companies who have some inventory over 6 months. Companies with up-to-date inventory get more than 3 times the number of hits. And getting your stock displayed translates into inquiries. So let's look at that. Companies that have up-to-date inventory are getting 8 times as many inquiries. Of course, age of inventory is not the only factor, but the overall message is, if you want to sell, you really need to update your stock regularly. Remember that the newest inventory is displayed at the top of the search results page. You can automate your inventory upload. If you provide the data in the correct format, our system will update it for you at any time of day. And use our new look inventory page, which now monitors your stock and will alert you to issues that you need to address, including old inventory. The page features the usual online editing tools and summaries, but at the bottom of the page you can view charts that will give you an idea of the performance of your inventory. We have also added a set of checks that will alert you to other potential problems in your inventory file. For example, a common mistake is to load the data into the wrong fields. Our monitoring system will detect this and alert you to the problem, giving you recommended actions in order to correct the mistake and improve the effectiveness of your inventory. We will soon be adding additional inventory performance indicators that you can monitor to be sure you are getting good coverage for your inventory. And as always, if you need help or advice, you can contact us or send your stock list to stock@bearingnet.net and we will load it for you. On the search page, we have 2 new features. First, for any search, click View Map, and you can now see a map showing the location of the companies that have the item you are searching for. Secondly, you can now turn on a new column to show you the distance to your nearest distributor that holds the item you searched for. So results can now be sorted by distance. You can now store your own company reference against each company in BearingNet. So if on your sales computer system the reference code for a company is 23427, you can store that information on the BearingNet company details page to make it easier for you to find the company mentioned on BearingNet in your own systems. Additionally, if you add this information, soon it will be possible to have it sent to you via the quote email or via the XML link feature. In the quotes section, you can now export inquiries that you have received to an Excel file and remove them from BearingNet. Using the wizard, you choose what you want to export, and then an Excel compatible spreadsheet will be emailed to you. You can also choose to remove the items when you do this, enabling you to tidy up your quotes page without losing a record of the discussions that you have had via the quotes system. Throughout the site, we have introduced some help tips. By hovering your mouse over the question mark icon an explanation will appear. There is a new page that provides members with links to sites that provide information about trade sanctions between countries, and you can access this from the Welcome page. You can upload documents and photos to your company details page. We recommend that you use this to upload scans of any distributorship certificates or quality control certificates that you have. This will help reassure other members that you are an approved supplier. You can also use this feature to upload some photos of your warehouse or products if you wish. On the Wanted and Offers pages, we have added some filters to help you narrow down items of interest. And the Wanted page now also includes the ability to specify how soon you need the item. On to Security, and in the Your Account section there is a new Activity page. This allows you to see the IP addresses and login times of any of the user accounts for your company. By checking this page, you can satisfy yourself that your account is not being misused by others, and hopefully its presence will be a deterrent to the abuse of your account. If you look at this page and you see anything that causes you concern, you're very welcome to contact us for assistance and some more information. Now, a look forward to the future. First, we will be rolling out an updated look to the website. We already have a new logo, like that, which we are already starting to roll out, and we will be refreshing the look of the active website and redesigning the pages that advertise our services. We are also looking to enhance the searching facility. We have a few suggestions from members, some of which will be implemented in the coming year, and some that are technically difficult. We will be adding some further features to the page to make searching easier, and if you have suggestions then please do let us know. Soon you will be able to set the default advanced search settings and maintain a list of predefined searches, which you could use for any regular searches you make, or to maintain a wish list of parts where you want to quickly reperform an old search again. We currently allow members to maintain a list of brands that you represent or sell. We will be expanding this so that you can indicate the brands for which you are an authorized distributor. Proof of authorization can be posted up using the new picture upload facility to upload a scan of your distributor certificate. You will also be able to search for authorized distributors by using the brand search page. We will start development work on a BearingNet app for mobile phones and tablets. If this is of interest, it will be useful for us to know where you would use it and what you would want out of it. For example, would it be useful on a tablet for you to use in your warehouse? Or would you use it on a phone when you are out and about? Which sections of BearingNet would you particularly want to use on a mobile device? Let us know your thoughts. We will be working to make changes to the company details page, both to include more information and to allow a degree of customization over how it looks, so that you can make a better impression of your company on your BearingNet page. This will include social media and video, etc. The Offers and Wanted pages will incorporate a degree of customizability to allow you to choose how you want these pages to look, either lots of information or cut down with less information. The Welcome page will be evolving to provide you with a dashboard view of your status on BearingNet. We hope to make this a customizable page that you will have some control over and can choose which information is displayed on your screen. That's all for now. As ever, we are always open to hear your suggestions for improving BearingNet. So if you would like to talk to us, please do approach us with your suggestions. Thank you for coming this weekend, and we hope that the meeting is a fun and productive weekend for you. But before you go, we'd like to give you a little flavour of the venues for our